Okay, so hello everyone and good afternoon. Warm welcome to the webinar Card Data Discovery, first step in achieving PCI DSS compliance. Hope you all are well and keeping safe during these challenging times and adapting to the new normal. I'm Sanjay from Classify Technology. I lead channel business and marketing. It is a cloudy day today here in New Delhi, a bit humid, and time is just past 5 past 3. There are a good number of people we see already logged in, so we are good to start. We have an interesting presentation to walk you through today, followed by a live demo of Classify Card Data Discovery Suite. During the presentation, we'll keep you on mute. Any questions, you can please write in Q&A box. You can find it at the bottom of the screen. We will take up questions at the last, just after the demo. Let me now quickly introduce our presenters for the day. We have with us Sukhpal Singh Sandhu. He is the co-founder and director of Classify Technology. He is CISSP ISO 27101 with over 2 decades of experience in information security domain. We also have with us Saishri, who is a subject matter expert on PCI DSS compliance. She is also GDPR certified expert practitioner, and she does research on various personal data protection laws applicable in various global geographies. So all good, and without taking any further time, let me now hand over to Sukhpal. Over to you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sanjay. Very good afternoon, good evening to you all, right? And this is time we have our friends, partner joining us from Middle East as well as from the Southeast Asia, right? And, so I think there are going to be some people from even Australia, right? So that's a bit on the late in the evening there. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us. And I think this is the third webinar in our series, right? So which is on the very important topic, especially for the industry who's handling a lot of card data, right, and who are PCI DSS compliance, right? And we thought of organizing this and educating on our offerings and how we can help this industry, right, in helping them to be compliant to PCI DSS, and what is the relevance of the card data discovery, especially as far as the PCI DSS is concerned, because there are very stringent guidelines which has been mentioned by the PCI DSS, right, which mandates the card data discovery, as one of the mandate from them to be done every on the quarter basis, right? So the agenda is going to be very crisp. So we are going to start. Actually, next slide, please. We are going to talk about a very quick introduction of PCI DSS. Even though this webinar is not about talking about what PCI DSS is and what are the different the various control it has and guidelines, right? So it is more to do with the relevance of the card holders data in this in the PCI DSS, and what role it plays, what is its importance, and how we can help you in in meeting those requirement of card data discovery in from the PCI DSS perspective. So I said we'll start with a very brief introduction of PCI and what is the card data discovery, some of the the controls and guidelines which PCI has mandated, right? What are they? And we'll touch base on that. And then we are going to talk about how what is Classify's role, what is our offering to the organizations who are PCI DSS compliant, and what role we play and how we can help them, right? And then the best part is going to be showing you the live the platform, how it looks, what are the different use cases, and then we'll move to the Q&A session, right? So you guys, most of the participants are on the mute mode, right? But you are welcome to type your question in the Q&A session, and probably at the end of the presentation, right, and the session. So we will open for the Q&A and address your queries, right. Thank you so much again for joining us. Over to you, Saitsuri. Just take it forward. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much, Sukhpal sir, for the introduction. Thank you so much, Sanjay sir. And thank you all the participants who are here today to join us for our card data discovery webinar. And without further ado, let's talk about what exactly PCI DSS is in brief today. So PCI DSS stands for Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards. So it's a global set of standards set by the PCI SSC, that is our PCI Security Standards Council, which was formed by American Express, Discover, JCB, MasterCard, and Visa in 2006. So this set of standards, this global data security standard has been adopted by card vendors or and transmit cardholder data and or sensitive authentication data. So, whosoever is dealing with processing, storing, or transmitting of cardholder data or sensitive authentication data, they have to comply with around your cardholder data. What are the steps you need to take care, while So coming to why card data discovery. As you can see here on the screen, only about 29% of companies are compliant a year after validation. So more than 50% of the companies are unable to maintain compliance. That means they're unable to identify, they're unable to protect their cardholder information. And as you can see that there is about $4 million of average total cost of a data breach, and 39% of organizations were breached through insecure remote access. So this data gives us a very clear picture of cardholder data discovery comes into picture. Only cardholder data when we know where it resides. Clients to be. So here, on this screen, so PCI DSS standard, it's a set of 6 goals and 12 rules. The goals primarily talk about building and maintaining a secure network and systems, protecting cardholder data, maintaining a vulnerability management program, implementing strong access control measures, regularly monitoring and testing networks, as well as maintaining an information security policy. And the requirements are just a more deep dive into these PCI DSS goals that have been set by the council. So a couple of PCI DSS requirements that talk about only cardholder data are here up on the screen. So requirement number 3 only talks about protecting stored cardholder data. And here it even defines that how you must be protecting it while it is being stored. So as requirement 3.3 talks about masking the PAN. PAN is our primary account number, which is your credit card number. Masking it wherever it is displayed. You are only able to see the first 6 or the last 4 digits, or the entire PAN is masked. The requirement 3.4 talks about rendering it unreadable anywhere it is stored. So making sure that you're able to store your credit card information in a secure fashion by applying various methods that are available today in the market. A couple of them which PCI DSS itself talks about, like truncation, for example, encryption, etc. So this is what is about, which PCI DSS really focuses on, that is protecting stored cardholder data. Another requirement which also is linked with the protection of the stored cardholder data is requirement number 6, which asks the entities that are storing, maintaining, or transmitting the cardholder information to develop and maintain security systems and applications, so that your production data, your lifespans are not being used for testing or development purposes. So to tie up this whole thing, the best way which PCI DSS explains all of this is by the means of scoping. So scoping is basically to differentiate between your cardholder data environment and your non-cardholder data environment, so that you have the ability, you have the visibility to protect, to secure your cardholder environment in a much better fashion. And as you can see here, the best part about PCI DSS standards is that it itself talks about implementing a data discovery methodology to confirm PCI DSS scope and to locate all sources and locations of clear text PAN, at least quarterly. So card data discovery tool is not just which is helpful for organizations to gain visibility into their infrastructure regarding where unprotected card information is lying, but it has been mandated by the PCI DSS Council as well that these scans, these discovery scans must be conducted at least quarterly. So these points, as a whole define how card data discovery tools should be functioning and what they should be focusing on, as it is clearly mentioned by requirement 3 and requirement 6. So there's always one question, what happens if you are non-compliant with PCI DSS? Since it is a global standard, it does not have any limitations to any certain country or any certain region. The penalties, the implications of non-compliance are quite high and quite hefty. So as you can see, the monthly penalties of non-compliance ranges from $5,000 to $100,000. Then there's infringement consequences as well, damaged reputation, which can hit you in the long run quite badly. Then definitely there's legal action, there's revenue loss, federal audits, compensation costs for PCI non-compliance. So in totality, PCI DSS compliance really talks about protecting the cardholder information, but it ensures that if you are an entity which is storing, transmitting cardholder information, you really have to make sure that you're doing it in the right fashion. So coming over to classify card data discovery suite. So overlooking all the challenges that I discussed briefly through the presentation till now, so classify card data discovery suite can overcome those challenges and bring the visibility to you in your data in terms of cardholder data. So, classify card data discovery suite is a full-featured card data discovery suite that automates the process of discovering, analyzing, and protecting card data. So, discovering and analyzing is the part where we help you gain visibility into your infrastructure, into your environment, as to where exactly your if there is any credit card information lying in your environment, where is it exactly? And we also help you go ahead and protect it, because we believe once we've discovered something sensitive, the next step is to directly go ahead and protect it. So with Classified Card Data Discovery Suite, you can define the scope of PCI DSS. You can go ahead and analyze between your cardholder data environment as well as your non-cardholder data environment. You can meet PCI DSS requirements of requirement 3.3, 3.4, and requirement 6.4.3. You can discover where unprotected PAN resides and who has access to it. You can analyze discovered card data through a business-oriented, interactive, illustrated dashboard. You can secure, you can protect the discovered unsecure PAN information with a couple of remediation actions that we offer. And we have a very thorough reporting functionality as well, where you can generate detailed reports to demonstrate compliance with PCI DSS. A couple of key features here about what Classify Car Data Discovery Suite has to offer. So we have a centralized administration and policy control. So you can control your discovery scans from one centralized administration, centralized management console. And we help you discover your unprotected card holder information in unstructured and structured data. We support multiple file types while conducting scans. We have a very intelligent validation algorithm so that we skip out on make sure that whatever data we're scanning and we're bringing it to you is the most accurate data. We have a high performance architecture, so it's a very lightweight software that we have. We have flexible policy scheduling, so you can go ahead and conduct a one-time scan or a daily, weekly, or a monthly scan. You can discover across multiple target types at the same time through one policy. So it's a very comprehensive tool. And as I spoke about, the multiple remediation actions that we have to offer, a couple of them to name are deletion, truncation, quarantine, and etc. Once we go to the demo part, we'll be showing you how Classify Car Data Discovery Suite is meeting all of the requirements. A bit about coverage and the platforms that we cover. So we support multiple OS types and multiple target types. As I said, that you can discover across various target types at the same time. So this drive across a specific folder path or a specific drive, and you can even discover across structured data, that is databases. So we support Microsoft Oracle DB2. You can even scan your emails and all file types and file servers as well. So the supported card brands that you're seeing on the screen right now, these are the card brands that Classify Car Data Discovery Suite supports. And as I've already mentioned, that we have a very intelligent validation algorithm. So the data that you'll be that is being scanned in your environment and that is being picked up and shown to you is the most accurate data. So we support MasterCard, Visa, Discover, JCB, and a couple of international brands as well, Troy, Interpay, UnionPay, etc. So now it's the time to see some real action. We can jump over to the demo part, where we'll be showing you how exactly Classify Car Data Discovery Suite is helping you meet and maintain the PCI DSS requirements, especially requirement 3, which talks about protecting stored cardholder data. So over to you, Supal sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aishri, for setting the whole context, of our this webinar. And I'm sure that most of the participants have now very clear understanding that what are the PCI mandates on the cardholders data, right? Because they ensure that all the merchants who are handling with the customers the card data, right? So they have to ensure that the data is protected as per the requirements. They have to ensure that the data is masked, right? I'll just give an example that you must have seen whenever you go and you swipe your card and you get a zip. So you must be seeing that your card data, your credit card number is not appearing, and you see a lot of XXXX in that, and then last 4 digits, right? So PCI mandates that. So that is one of the PCI DSS requirements, which mandates that at the maximum first 6 and the last 4 digits of the credit card numbers only can be displayed, right? Then rest everything has to be masked, right? Whether and not to while on your POS machine, and when you are giving a receipt to the customers, right? Even when it is stored, in the databases in any other different formats, so it has to be masked, right? And only the people who have the right authorized access are supposed to give access, have access to the the complete data, right? And another mandate which Saishri has explained is the scope, right? So scope, while go for the PCI DSS, when the audit happens and the certification happens. So before that, so organization has to define a scope. So scope covers that which all systems, right? So it comes under the purview of PCI DSS, right? So organization has to explicitly define that, okay, these are my 5 applications, these are my set of storages, these are my couple of databases, right? In which I am going to, this is the scope in which I am going to process on the cardholder data. I am going to store the cardholders data, right? And that will become scope. Then they have to go, also ensure that all those cardholder data will remain within this scope, and nothing will this cardholder data will not I'll be storing out of the scope of the system, which they have to define and declare in the beginning, right? And the next is very, very critical, wherein again PCI DSS one of the control, they said that the cardholders data, right, the live data, the valid data, you cannot put in the test environment, because when you enterprise has application and different and definitely they have the live production environment, and then they have the something called test and staging environment, right? So it is the, again, PCI mandates that there should not be any live data in the test environment. That means those during the testing stage, so there shouldn't be any actual the cardholders data with which the testing team should play, and they should be able to have access to that, right? So very, very important point to take care of, that there's no cardholders data in the testing environment. So how are you going to identify that if there's any by mistake, or deliberately someone has copied the cardholder data and they are going to misuse it, right? And on the top of it, the most critical one is the PCI also mandates that there has to be at least once every quarter, right, the scan has to be done for the card data. They said that once in a quarter, or as and when there are significant changes. Once in a quarter is mandatory. Yes, you have to do it, all right? And the next one is that if it is as there are significant changes has happened in your environment, in your infra, in your application, then also you need to do this scanning of your the card data, right? So that means that's again a mandate that once in a quarter, yes, this is mandatory, but also as and when there's going to be a significant change, and again the vendor need to the customer need to do the discovery and ensure that there's no unprotected card data which is lying in the scope of the system which they have defined. Okay, so let's start the most interesting part, right? I love it. So I will just show you the actual the action, and how our platform help organization to address these challenges which we have been talking about, especially on the card data, right? And the solution that we have been developing for last couple of years is by the name of Classified Card Data Discovery Suite. And as Saishri was mentioning, that it has been explicitly designed for this purpose. And now there are a lot of customers globally, as well as a lot of USAs, right? The consultants are using this platform and offering the services, and customers are using to scan their environment to find the unprotected card data if it is lying in your environment, right? And just to a brief touch base on the architecture. So this is application which is deployed in the customer premise, right? And we have the option of doing the scanning of different your host with both agent with agent and agentless, right? So that means if on the specific host on which you can install the specific agent. We have very, very lightweight agent which can be installed and it doesn't hardly consume any resources, and do the scanning and give the result back. Or if there are requirement that you can't have the specific agent installed. So we have also the option of doing the entire card data scanning, agent, less, right? And what you're seeing on the screen is the main dashboard, right? Which will give you in a brief the summary of all the discovery which has been, done, right? What you're seeing is that the discovery has been done on 86 hosts. So there are almost like 300,000 files with the card data. There's one database with the card data in which the card data has been found. And then how many total PANs discovered. So what data you are seeing here is the unprotected PAN. That means these many instances of the unprotected PAN. Unprotected means the complete your the card number, right? Which Saishi was saying, the so-called PAN is discovered, which was not protected, right? So we tell you that these many instances of that is found. And down below, what you are seeing is that, so this is our platform bring a lot of value. That we actually tell you that which card vendors data has been found, right? So for example, you can see that there are 2,311 records of Maestro has been found. 2,302 Visa records are found, and so forth. The American Express, Diners, Maestro, right? DK, Troy, JCB, Visa, in fact, including the Indian Rupee, right? So we have those options which are we have the capability to discover all these card data. And the USP comes is that this all the data that we discover, it is all validated data, right? It is not that this is a 16-digit number and any 16-digit number which has been identified. It is going to be say that it is card data, right? Even though card numbers vary from 13 to 19 digits based on the different the vendors, right? So what we identify, we validate that there are a lot of algorithms which has been built in, so which actually validate that whether this is a genuine card data, actual validated card data, or it is just you can't, someone can write 11111 and it'll say this is the card data. No, it is will be able to identify and verify that card data what has been discovered and give you the bifurcation, right? And we also further gives the file types in which the card data is found. So we have a huge the list of the file types that we support, including image files. We have the the OCR functionality which is built in. That means if you have taken a snapshot of the credit card, or if there's a bill on which the credit card is mentioned and you've scanned it, and so on and so forth. So we have the capability of identifying the card data even in the images, different formats. Rest all your office, your load XMLs, log files, PDFs, and there's a big list which we support and which we can we can discover. And leaving aside your databases and the emails and the different file formats which are out there, right? And then we give the summary below of the the systems on which the discovery has been done, right? Individual system wise. For example, it's saying that host with agent, host scan, remotely scanned here, that means without agent, and then so on and so for individual host, and so on. So host was scanned when the audit happened, when the last audit, what is the progress, how much has been done, how much data is discovered, how many files with the card data percentage, and all those different the statistics of the discovered data we present, right? And this is the step one, wherein all these the data which has been discovered, right? So we give the summary of that, and then we have the interesting part, which is the actual which bring the actual value, is what we call is the deep drill dashboard. So this is actually is the most interesting part in our platform. So which are what they are we show here is a kind of a live interactive dashboards, right? Wherein any the kind of the further analysis that you want to do, right, based on multiple factor. Like for example, you want to do analysis of a specific host, or you want to do an analysis based on specific file type or specific, the PAN card. So you can just, click anywhere and the system will dig, you the details. For example, you want to see that, okay, there's American Express, the card data details has been found in 1748 instances are found. The moment you click on it, so the system will tell you that this data in your scope of the system where you have done the discovery, on how many systems this data is found, right? So that means whether it's found on one system or two system or 10 system or, let's say hundreds of systems, right? It will tell you that exact location where this data is found. Who's the user who's sitting, current user who has been, logged in onto that system, right? Will show you the exact file name, file path, and the lot of telemetry, which is very, very interesting. For example, we have just clicked on this American Express and just see the number of system on which American Express data is found, the different file types, and then all the different list of the systems and files, including the host name, IP address, file name, file type, the path, the vendor, American Express definitely which is selected, and if you see the discovered PAN. So again, one of the the feature that we have built in, so we don't to be also compliant that our application is also not violating any of the PCI DSS requirement, right? So the moment our agents, the clients scan the data, so we don't bring any unprotected PAN what we discovered in even in our database. The moment we discover the unprotected PAN, our client mask it at that moment and then bring it to the database in the mask format, right? So that even from after we have read it, we show you that's the reason we are displaying this, right? So as per the PCI DSS, the format you are seeing the first 6 and last 4 and rest all has been masked, right? So this functionality has been built in, right? So to ensure that we are also fully compliant and we are not storing any unprotected card data even in our platform at any stage, right? But while storing all the telemetry of the data, that means exact location, exact file name, exact file path, exact IP of the system, exact system name, exact username, and all these, the telemetry of the data we collect, so that to ensure to give you a lot of insight information. So when exactly more details, like when the audit was done, who's the user, right, and who's the author, right? Whether the system on which the data has been discovered is that the same guy who's the author of this, or is been this data has been they got data from somewhere else, and they were not the original author of that. And this is the very interesting stuff that we copy is the permissions. So this permission is that now when we are talking about the scope of the PCI, it's very important that it is definitely a very, very critical data for the organization, and it is a very confidential data, right? And now who all should have access to that? Just see what you are seeing on the screen is, if you see in the permission, it is seeing everyone full control, right? You can see that everyone full control, right? So that means it is to highlight the demonstrating the capability. That means this is the total misconfiguration of the rights on the specific source or specific data which has been configured. So that means this file is actually not supposed to be, because it contains a lot of sensitive data, everybody not supposed to have full access on this, right? So it should be everybody, first of all, everybody have no role to play in this, but some administrator or some irresponsible person has done some wrong configuration, or probably have not focused on this part, that what is the access others have on this kind of data, right? So this has to be a specific rights given to a specific set of people. So we even highlight that. So you immediately, by having a look at that, you can you can find that this is a totally misconfiguration, and there's a big risk which is this can be incurred on that. Okay. So let me showing you more the actions. Let me probably go to one of the machines. In fact, Saisri's machine, on which we want to show you a couple of use cases which are very, very interesting, and how the truncation works. So now if you see, I've just clicked on, selected the Saishree's machine from the top. And what we are seeing is now the data of only Saishree's laptop, right? So you can see earlier there's a big list of the hosts were coming, and now only the Saishree is coming. And now it is the different, the unprotected PAN which has been discovered on the system, and the discovered, you know, the card data, right? And different file format it has been discovered, right? And right below, if you see that, so it will show you the exact files in which the data is found. I say, for example, there are doc files and XLS files, and you know, all the different files, the locations, and the different card data has been found. For example, it is first file saying that there's a Mastrios 4 card been found, and which is the, you know, the different Mastrio card which has been found, right? So if you see that, then there's the one Visa and all those different, you know, card data has been found in this. And then the most interesting part comes is that once, you know, you have identified this data, right? So then we also let you take some remediation actions, right? So we have these remediation actions. So for example, we have this action called delete, right? So that means once you have done the discovery of your hundreds of systems, and, you know, so if you found some card data which is lying at some inappropriate place, you can select this file and click on delete, and it will be, you know, wiped out, right? For example, if you find some data which is lying in the out of your scope of PCI DSS systems, right? You scanned your network and you found that some guy has maybe copied a file and, you know, kept it on his desktop, right? You can wipe that out. The system without any user's intervention, so that data will be completely wiped out, right? Truncation. So this is also very, very interesting. Wherein what we are doing is that, so if there's any data which has been found which is not protected, okay, and we can you know, apply the truncation in that, and I'll see if I can show you live. So so there is some data. Okay, I think this was the folder in which test has been done, right? You can see there are a couple of files in which we have created some, you know, test data to demonstrate you the capabilities, right? And I will try to take some of files. For example, if you see, there's a file called book2.xlsx, right? So let me try to quickly. Sorry. Okay, so just a moment. Sorry, my mistake. Saishri, can you just take it over and show this part, because I think I'm controlling the system. It is a bit slow. It'll be great, so that you know, the experience happens better. You can just take control, Saishri. You are muted. I'll request you if you can unmute yourself. Yeah, go ahead, Saishri. I'll request if you can just take control, and because, you know, my you know, it is a bit slow for me. Yeah, go ahead, please. Saishri, can you take the control, please? I'm having some, you know, feeling bit of slowness. Just unmute yourself and just take the demo forward, please.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, please. Saishri, go ahead, please.
I hope you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, Saishri. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Great, great. So So, moving forward, as you can see here, as Mr. Supal has already, spoken about how you can go ahead and, dive deep into the data that has been discovered and, perform various analysis and, even see, how we are able to provide you the information about the data that has been discovered within the files, and and all the data, all the various data attributes that are picked up along with the file or along with the data where your unprotected card data has been discovered. So I'll quickly show you a quick demo of how the various remediation actions, as Mr. Supal has already spoken about, how it is happening, how it takes place live, as well as report generation, and in what format we're providing you all the information to demonstrate compliance, PCI DSS compliance. So here on the screen, as you can see, I'm there in the Deepdrill dashboard, and these are the files, the test files within my system, which have been found with unprotected credit card data. As you can see here, here we have the mask pan. We displayed mask pan number to you along with the brand of the credit card number as well, and separately we show it to you here as well. So quickly applying the action here. So as you can see, I'm going ahead and just applying the truncate action. So here the best part here about this remediation action is that once I go ahead and apply some remediation action, I have to provide a justification for the action that I am wishing to apply. So unless and until I am able to provide a proper justification for why I am going ahead and applying this remediation action to this particular file, I won't be able to apply it. So let me just go ahead and type in that card data found. That is why I wish to go ahead and truncate. So now here it says that the action has been applied successfully. So so here below, it takes a couple of within a minute, you can see that the file where I have the folder in which I have the file, Word 3. I'll be showing you how the truncation action has been taken. As let me just quickly go here. So as you can see on my screen, this is the folder where the scan took place, and all the information regarding the unprotected credit card data that was found within this folder, within all of these files, has been scanned and has been displayed on the console. So now here, as you can see, quickly going back to the console for a moment. So the file on which that I applied the remediation action, the truncate action, is in this particular folder, and it's called word3.docx. And inside this folder here, you can see word3.docx, and I'll quickly open it for you and show you that this file has been modified, and all the PANs, the unprotected card data within that file, has been truncated. So here you can see you're only able to view the first 6 and the last 4 digits, and the rest of the digits have been masked according to the PCI DSS standard that has been which has provided the guidelines for doing so. Another quick remediation action which I would like to show you here is the delete action. So I'll suppose pick this particular file. So again, the same folder, and a different file this time, presentation, a PPT file. So I'll go ahead and apply a delete action. First, let me just show you that this file exists here. So let me just go ahead and again type in the justification. So now that I've typed in the justification, till the time I will have to give it a minute or two so that the action can take place. But at the same time, one thing that I would like to show you here is the information regarding the files with action taken. So once I go ahead and show you how the remediation action has been taking place on the client, I'll quickly refresh the dashboard here, and I'll show you how you can see the justification as well as the action that has been applied. So here you can see the PPT3 presentation file that I had automatically got deleted. So, this is the best part, about Classify card data discovery, so that you can essentially manage your card data discovery scans, as well as, you can go ahead and apply protection actions, and you can go ahead and protect the unprotected card data, the unsecured card data, in whichever way your organization policy allows you to. There's another action, that we have, that is the quarantine action. So in case of quarantine action, you can go ahead and define a UNC path for where you wish to move your files, so that they can be secured in a better fashion. So this is a pretty simple function. So you just provide the UNC path where you wish to move your files to secure them in better, suppose apply some encryption methods, or anything like that. So again, in the same way, you can go ahead and select
Saishri, I'll request if you can,
on which you wish to apply remediation action. You can go ahead and apply directly from here. So quickly refreshing my screen here, so I'll be able to show you how we can see the justification on the files that have some action being taken on them. So within my system here, you can see even the count has been reduced, because these particular files do not contain any sensitive cardholder data anymore, since once you apply the truncation action, that means you're no longer holding any unsecured cardholder data. So here you can see that these are the files that have been where some action has been taken. So here are the two files where I applied the delete action as well as the truncation action. So here here you can see under the action and the justification part that these particular files have been deleted and truncated, and why that particular action has been performed. So this is a very good way of keeping a log of what actions has been have been performed on the data that has been sitting on endpoints, even on databases, as well as emails. So and the best part here is that we're not only capturing the IP address, or just the file name, file path, or just the unprotected card data that has been found in the files. We also go ahead and pick up the information regarding the permissions, who's the author of the file, and even the MD5 data, so that you can go ahead and check for data duplication as well. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Saishri. Saishri, you have been muted. We can't hear you. Hello.
I think Saishri has been muted by the system. She is not able to unmute. Can you please check from your end, Sukhpalwaji?
Actually, control is with her only. So I think we were all able to hear.
Yeah, but I just spoke with her over the phone and she says that she has been muted and she's not able to unmute from her side.
She's the host. She has to.
Yeah, I think she must be having all those controls. Absolutely. Let me check with her. Just a second.
So sorry, guys. Actually, can you hear me? If you hear me, just say yes. So I'll explain, and then you can just navigate. It'll be great if you can hear me. Just move to the reporting section, right? So or quickly in the DB part.
You just give back the control to then you.
Sorry, guys. Some
Sure.
technical issue. I think.
Maybe you can try dropping out and logging in again if it is not working till the time maybe.
Sanjay, Sanjay.
Haji.
Yes. Tell her if you can give me the control. I'll drive it.
He says that the control is with you already. That is the reason she is not able to unmute herself. And it has come from the system that you have been muted.
No. So she's the host, right? So she's the host. So I'm not a host. She has all the super controls. So I have given up the the control. Can she check now? Sanjay?
Yeah, please bear with us. Actually, I have just spoken with Saishri and I think now I can see her unmuted.
Yeah.
But I suggested her to log in. Let's wait for.
Apologies for this technical goof up. I think by the time.
Hello?
Yeah, Saishri, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Control. You're back in control. Yes. Please continue.
All right. I hope everybody can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can't see your screen.
Great. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. I think there was some system issue from my side that I couldn't really point out at that time. So, as I explained for the deep drill for files, we have separated deep drill dashboards for databases and mails as well to avoid any kind of ambiguity and to give you a very clear picture of how card data is being handled within different platforms within your infrastructure. So here, as you can see, we have again, a graph talking about discovered database with card data according to the server. So, let me just quickly show you how the data is being gathered in terms of databases. So here you can see, when we conduct a scan, when we go ahead and do a discovery within the databases, we tell you the type of the databases, the server identifier, host name, the current user, the DB instance, DB name, table name, column, row position, and of course the unprotected PAN that has been discovered within inside that position, and the audit date. Again, in the same way, you can go ahead and apply the remediation actions directly from the console. In a similar fashion, how it was taking place in case of the files. Let me just quickly show you deep drill for mails as well. So for mails here, you can see, how we're picking up the information in terms of email information. So here, you can see we're again picking up the host name, the IP address. So the best part here is that we can identify and tell you whether it was a PST file or an MSG file where sensitive card information was discovered, and which mail folder does it belong to. And along with that mail subject, the mailbox, the sender and recipient information, the timing of the email, the date and time, what is the size of the email. So here's the best part, when talking about doing a discovery within emails. So here, we go ahead and scan the email body as well as the attachment if there is any. And we bring out the information to you to give you complete visibility, so that no crack is left open, and you are in complete control of the security posture of your organization. Again, similarly, you can select the files on which you wish to apply some remediation action, and you can go ahead and directly apply actions from our centralized management console. So this is about the deep drill files, the discovering, the analyzing, and the protecting part of card data discovery, classify card data discovery tool. Quickly taking you over to the logs and reports, the report generation part that we have, which helps you demonstrate compliance with PCI DSS in a very simple fashion. Quickly going over through files. So here we have a couple of filters, which help you to filter out the discovery results according to your requirement. So let me just put in a date here and conduct a search. So here now you can see that I have my results filtered out according to the date filter. And I can quickly just with one click I can go ahead and generate an executive report, which we have in Word format here. So within this Word document, here again you get a file scan report summary, which talks about the scanned card types, the scanned file types, and how many repositories or hosts were scanned, and what were the metrics, and how many files were found with unprotected card data, and how many unprotected PANs were found within those files. Below here, you can see the detailed report according to each host name. So here again, you get a small summary of this particular system. How many files are scanned, and how many unprotected card data was found. And below here, under the unprotected card data details, here you can see the exact information that we showed you on our centralized management console. So here we give you the file name, the file path, and the card name, and the card number, the masked card number, which was discovered within this particular file. And here you can see we give you similar information for all the other hosts that have been scanned for that have been scanned using discovery for files. Going back to the logs and reports for mails. Again, we have a couple of filters here to filter out records as per your requirement. So I'll quickly go ahead and just apply a date filter here, and this will give me the information that I just showed you within the deep drill for emails. Again, I can just create an executive report, and all this information that I'm able to see here on the screen would directly come to me in a Word format with, again, a mail scan report summary first, and then here you can see in detail how per host name how many files have been scanned, and what was the distribution of the unprotected PANs that were discovered within those PST or MSG files that we scan. Again, the sender and recipient information, the email subject, and all the necessary information that you need to pinpoint where exactly your unprotected card data is lying in your organization. Similarly, we have the logs and reports customized for databases as well. Again, I'll just go ahead and apply a date filter here quickly. So again, here you can see I'm getting the information for specific for databases, and I can go ahead and generate an executive report here. So now again, I get a database scan report summary here for databases, and now here under the detailed report, I get information according to server identifiers. So now here, you can see under the details that we give you the, we give you the DB name, table name, column, and row position, so that you can exactly pinpoint where your unprotected PAN is lying. So the best part here about the logs and reports is that we have customized it for your files, mails, and databases. I think we can move over to the question and answer session. Since
thank you so much
with the demo for now.
Thank you so much, Jayashree. Sanjay, I'll request you. Let's open the forum for the Q&A. And
yes,
gentlemen,
sure.
yes, I think just keep your questions coming, and let's take your questions. Whatever your queries are, just you're free to ask. Sanjay, can you take the questions?
I already have. Yeah, let me take those up.
Yeah,
so it starts with what is unprotected card data means.
Okay, great. So unprotected card
very
data,
basic.
Yeah, unprotected card data means
so,
that
a couple of questions that have come up in the Q&A chat box here. So the unscanned files that we have. So there are. So to scan a particular file, we need a couple of permissions. As we showed it to you in the deep drill for files. So unscanned files are those where the permission is not provided, and we are not able to go ahead and scan it for you.
Sanjay, I think there seems to be some again problem on our side. Sanjay, can you hear me, right?
I can hear you well, yeah.
Yeah, superb. I've told her we can, she can hold. Okay, so just to answer that question, this unprotected PAN. So what does unprotected PAN means? Any the cardholder's data which is invisible in its totality. That means if it is a 13 to 19 digit number, card number, which is PAN, primary account holder number, right? So if it is visible, all the numbers are visible. So that is called unprotected PAN, right? And PCI says that there should not be any unprotected PAN anywhere in your infrastructure, right? And that's what we help into the discovery of unprotected card data, and we help in the protection of that. I hope it's clear. Sanjay, next one, please.
Yeah, so this is, does the solution integrate with existing IAM solution?
IAM.
I'm not sure about this IAM. This is a question from
I think it
Sudhir.
can be identity and access management. See, ours is a very specific, PCI DSS unprotected data discovery solution. Okay, so the objective is to just scan the resources, in the customer's environment, and just to give them that information that where all this, unprotected card data is, residing, and so that they can, then take appropriate action for the protection of the same. Right. So identity and access management, I don't think so. It is anywhere related to us.
Okay. So Shubhi has asked, does it support Mac OS?
Yeah, absolutely. We support Windows, Linux, Mac, Unix, Sun. There are many platforms we are supporting. Yes.
And can it also identify how many unique instances of card data were found?
Absolutely. As I think you must be seeing that against each for example, if visa is found, so we are also, if you have seen it carefully, so there's a number displayed on that, right? 5, 10, 20. So for example, in some file, you found let's say 50 visa number, 100 AMX, or this much diners, and so on and so forth. So you will exactly show you those number of instances which has been found. Yeah, we display that. Next one,
there has been some issue with the voice. There has been some voice problem. So Shubhi, I'll get back to you over the email on your query. The
Sanjay,
another one is what if?
Clear? Can you hear me? No.
Yeah, now it's okay. The question is, what if PAN card info is encrypted?
Well, if it is encrypted, definitely you can't get into it. You can't look into it. But again, if there's some file, as I think one of the question which I just saw was on the, if there's a password protected files and all that. So we display. So in our the sections when we are doing the discovery and the deep drill, we also show you the files which we are not able to scan and the reason. So if we come across file which is encrypted, which is a password protect the file and all that, so we'll highlight those files explicitly so that you know that these are, if they have been genuine files which has been officially been encrypted or password protected, or some user has done some has put in his own password. So we'll highlight those files and you can generate a list out of that, and then you can further investigate.
Okay, and then Vinod is asking, how does it check for card data in Outlook OST files, which might also be password protected?
Yeah, again, just to highlight, if it is definitely a password protected, is a kind of encrypted, we can't get into it. But if it is not password protected, we can get into it, and we can look into the content and we can scan it. Sanjay, next one, please.
So we can very much do the discovery in Outlook OST files as well. Can we also scan voice files? Voice files?
Yeah, voice is, I think that's a good option. We are coming up with this option. As of now, we don't have that option, but in our next release, we are working on that. And in our next release, we'll have the voice files, especially in the ITITS. There's a lot of requirements coming. So we will be able to, scan the voice files, and, we'll be able to detect if there's any PAN data. It is almost ready, because we are supposed to release this in this quarter, in this release, but just because of this COVID thing, it just got postponed. So it is ready. So everything is ready, and our next release, so we'll have this feature available.
So this is coming soon, and it is very much in our roadmap. What is the percentage of false positives?
Okay, good. See, false positive in our experience and what all customer has been using till date across the globe, a lot of QSAs, a lot of end customers, right? It has been very negligible. I'll say almost, 0.0001%, right? It definitely does happen sometimes, because if there's a number which passes the algorithm, and it can highlight.
Sir,
that.
there is a persistent problem with the voice. I think we are not able to make out much what answers we are giving. The suggestion is, can we switch off this presentation? Maybe that will help in better bandwidth. I am not though very sure about it.
Am I not audible, Sanjay?
Yeah, I mean, there is a continuous break. There is a continuous break in between. We lose your voice. It is difficult to make out.
That's really strange, because your voice is coming to me perfectly. So there's no disruption. So
I don't know. Maybe some internet. Correct. Maybe some network issue. Slow connectivity.
Am I audible now? It's okay. Is it okay, Sanjay?
The voice is dropping in between.
That's
from the audience, the voice is breaking.
Your voice is absolutely clear to me, and I don't see any. Is it better now?
It's better, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Ask me. I think let's put this blame on the internet. So as I have no role to play in that. Yeah, go ahead. Ask me. I think if it is better, so we are good to go.
Okay. So this is a question coming from Sanjay Pandey, and who asks, does this solution help in complying with PCI DSS?
Yeah, exactly. So this help you comply with not the PCI DSS in the eternity, because PCI DSS a lot of other the controls which they are your organization has to comply with. But we help you to comply from the data security. All the guidelines which as Saishri in the presentation has mentioned. So on the data security, on the discovery of the the card data, on of scanning the card data as per the requirement of PCI once in a quarter, right, or to identify the scope or to mask the data. So those all the requirements of PCI DSS we help in to comply. I hope that clarifies.
Right. So these are the important requirements from the PCI that you can take care, you can comply with using this tool.
Yeah.
Then the next one comes is, how much time does it take to scan a system?
Okay, good question. So, well, it all depends on the the volume of the data, but our algorithms are quite efficient, and we have seen the approx a TB of data getting scanned in about 3 to 4 hours time. Sometimes even faster. It is again depending upon the the volume or the size, file types, and there are multiple factors which actually determine the speed. But we have a very efficient the algorithms which are quite efficient and quite fast.
Right. So does it support the JPG and image formats?
Absolutely. As we have mentioned and demonstrated, yes, we can scan. We have the OCR functionality built in, and we can scan the image files, and if you have taken a snap or you've taken a screenshot, we can discover that. Yes.
And if the data is in a zip file, in a zip format, how can that will be taken care? Can the tool do the discovery for these formats as well?
It's a zip means zip is ZIP, right? It's a compressed
ZIP, right?
Yeah. So we have the functionality built in. It's not even a single, multiple layers of the zip. If the data has been, there's a Word file or a PDF or any Excel file which is zipped to up to in multiple layers, we still can open that up and discover the data. Yes, we have that functionality.
I'm just going through some new questions that just pop up. Unscanned files. Okay, what is meant by unscanned files?
Unscanned files is, as I just mentioned, the files which are which we don't have exclusive rights to read through that, or which are password protected, which are encrypted, right, whose content we can't access and we can't read through, right? So those are the one which are we highlight explicitly in the unscanned file options.
What are the prerequisites for this implementation in terms of access controls or privileges?
Well, the prerequisite is a as I said, it's a general app, right, which has to be installed, and then we have the option of agent based and agentless, right? So we only need the read only access of all the data, because as we are going to if you, only the scanning need to be performed. But if you need to also take some action like truncation and some actions, right? So then you have to provide both, read and write access, right? And there's a list of, if we can maybe you can just share the details of your specific project. We can share the prerequisites, right? Because there are a couple of other ports and other requirements which are there, right? So which we can share with you.
So I think we have covered more or less all the questions, and if still there are any remaining, we are always available to you, and you can shoot out those questions over the email, and we'll be very glad to answer and assist you in your requirements, in your queries. Awesome. I just want to say big thank you to everyone taking out time and joining us today. Hope you all enjoyed the presentation and the live demo.
Our contacts are there on the screen. You guys are free to just note it down. Just reach out to us, me or Sanjay, anytime, and we'll be definitely happy to, if you guys want this POC or demo happen in your environment, or maybe have a in more in-depth, discussion, we'll be happy to, support you on that.
Right. So with this, we come to the end of the session today. Bye for now. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you
Cheers.
so much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.